0 hours passed.
横。コロナ、ライト。コンコン。こいつか。よくわかんないやつ。
The unpromising race pupil returns. And?
これか。やばい。
Everyone can see that. It has little to do with the race enigma.
おいわかんねえぞ。
Baby, don't be mean.
呼んでねえから。
Give him another chance.
Anything for you, babe.
おいちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。野獣、ロードするか。
Look, babe. The rich man has humiliated and emasculated this couple. He can only think in base materialist categories and feminine abstractions like money.
Rich man really fucked him over, Jean.
His rage is already played out on the stage of history as the grotesque tragedy of revolution. All it can accomplish now is impotent academic text and neurosyphilitic rock and roll melancholy.
やばい。やるべ
Could
きだっ
have
たか。
used this opportunity to overcome your narrow, unrule ravaged identity. Take solace from the fact that these thoughts will never entirely leave your brain. They will be with you on the day you die. The only germ of heroism in your body. Now go. I have beauty and truth to discuss with my woman.
Damn, Jean. How are you so romantic?
The unpromising race pupil returns.
ホーム設定。ちょっと待ってよ。ちゃんとこれを確認してから話を聞こう。関係なくない？なんか。これか。答え、書いてねえじゃないか。謎は解けたって書いてあるけど本当わかんねえんだけど。禁止の嵐の音楽。
The The
わかんない。
unpromising
どういうこ
race
と？
pure and look, babe. The disco dancing degenerate.
Coca has real.
You could have used this opportunity to overcome your narrow. Take solace from.
Damn, Jean. How would.
どういうことなんだろう。
The unpromising race and
ちょっとちゃんと見るか。わかんねえな。どれが正解なんだろう。
fascinating. The Revacholian degenerate shows signs of racial self-reflection. How did you accomplish this little feat? So it would seem, Ralph Rule. On one hand, this pathetic self-therapy has little to do with the great mystery of living organisms. And, of course, you will not be able to free yourself from the yoke of Rule. It is too late. It may be lethal to stop at this point, but still.
Your willpower fires up, directing you to speak.
If the Revacholian degenerate is capable of critical thought, he may prove a race adversary yet. Was I mistaken to share the esoteric science with him?
Jean, baby, you did the heroic thing.
That is right. You cannot withstand the wasteland of reality. There is nothing funky about. I cannot possibly. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital, which is something your race naivistic communists never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Of course you are, Revachol. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Oh, I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. The South Island, we are the few. I am a descendant. No. I have heard about, yes. Racists are
Welcome to.
I am not
True. That is a noble cranium.
correct.
こいつ通してくれないの、結局。お前よくわかんねえわ。結局、通れないんかい。ロックアンロックできない。腹の現実。肉体、総長。運動を動かせないのか。ここって何だっけ。
The payphone hangs. The file cabinet stands steady as
書類を
ever.
見ても
Hundreds of documents and the same materials being handed
そうだよ
You
ね。
already went through all of the drawers.
若者もないから。もう戻れねえ。これ、こっち行けないのかね。超人気の。ここにまだ行けてねえんだよな。なんか行方法あんのかね。これさ、ヒントがさ、ロード、早くて。読めないんだよね。ここか。この辺り、夜中に探ってきましょうか。何も、猫。これって入れるんだって。
A lorry stuck in the windows are clear. The driver has adorned a large metal pendant. The back end of the cabin is
この金貨。子供ねえな。
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward a silver plaque. Not a good. As you look up, you notice something about the statue.
これ読んだな。こいつなんだって。
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph. No response. Wherever this woman is.
なんかよくわかんないやつ。今日も行けないか。きっと買ってる。西側、ちょっと行くか。こっからは行けないのか。10分後に。今夜の魔王。もう入れなくて。北の交差点。本当にずっと。
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inex. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. The mute machine is unable to confirm or deny your theory. But yes, it was vandalism. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach.
なるほど。 袋、手荷物。
This coin-operated viewer
手どこにあ
is
るの？
facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 cent.
袋ってどこで売ってんの？それは後で。袋。袋とはどこにあるのかと。これ、下まで行くのか。海軍。暗樹、革命。
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
子犬。あ、こいつの裏にやってきたじゃん。
Are you trying to sneak up on me?
Apparently, she
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. Trying to sneak up on me.
なんだこいつ。鍵、持ってなかったっけ？ないの。カフェとか。運転。あ、講師、隠れるじゃん。習字、本も。
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air. And there's the royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head.
さあ、どうなるんでしょうね。
Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
とは言ってるけど。優しい。食品、
A row
菜
of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes. and others. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in a trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in
いや、
mind.
間違った。いびき、かかってやったら勝手に使っちゃうよね。無駄に使ってしまった。ドレスシャツ。うんち。何してるの？装置。
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. The flag accepts your honorable salute with quiet dignity. It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow. The vows are blood and flesh. Lower intestine. The term is metabolic and circulatory system. Fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachol's problems? Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
問題の元凶は、
Yes, them, but also Women. Women, men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Yes, woman, that's what stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth. Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, okay, yes, let's call it that. You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota. For the nation, smart. Best not to mention the women too often. That's why you're the head and I am the stomach. Of course you are, Bruta. Of course.
肌なの。マシコも手に入れき。マグネシウム。何もないか。貝。この後から触るんだろう。これ。 小学校行けないよ。断られても購入できなさそう。ここはまあいいだろう。もう少し行くぜ。
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door? There must be the door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door! Doesn't matter who I am.
From within comes the faint sound of a...
The police? Everyone knows it. No, I already... Go check the backyard.
Backyard door? The door...
Stop banging on the door! I'm not... Doesn't matter.
From within...
The police... No, go check...
Backyard door. Kingdom of Conscience.
両親。
The kingdom of conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change.
Me when I'm talking to you.
きっとしょ。いけないんだよね。引っ越してこっちだよね。夜は開かない感じ。羽国島。
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officer. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You must be from the RCM.
入る。パインズの人じゃん。
Beaton, my maiden name. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly. Why, yes I am. Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou. We are, and the city of Revachol is on the island of Lakayu. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either. No matter whose it is, a motor carriage is just a tool. You need it to do your job. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby. Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officer. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but 2 Insulindic regattas, and finished once. The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now. Technically speaking, you don't. Then certainly you must know that under the Wayfarer Act, the RCM doesn't have the authority to demand anyone's operator license. Freedom of movement and all that. You may still ask to see my passport. That I'm obliged to share with you. Of course.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you, face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads, Rejoice Leighton Messier. The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap. The woman, born in the year 3.
Yes, but please don't call me that. Joyce is much more efficient. My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her coat.
Officer.
The qualified pleasure.
I just renewed its safety inspection last. Technically speaking, you don't. Surely you're aware that under the Wayfarer Act, the RCM doesn't have the authority to demand anyone's operator license. You may still ask to see my passport. That I'm obliged to share with you. Of course.
She nods and returns the plastic bag.
Officer.
The qualified pleasure craft.
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officer. Technically speaking, then certainly you must know that under the... You may still ask for my passport. Of course. Any more questions, officer?
The qualified pleasure.
I just renewed its safety inspection. Technically speaking, then certainly you must know that under... About the boat? Good. What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you...
$1 billion?
And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions. Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous responsibility. They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own. I'm afraid the Emergencies Act was put in place by the same coalition government that leases the RCM the right to police East Revachol. But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer. They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, so you've met him. Has he beguiled you with his inane theories? Charmed, enchanted, put under his spell. They're nonsense. A load of tripe. But we were on the subject of the talks, I believe. Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived. I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board. In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one. The scabs. You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet. The scabs.
Don't let her answer it.
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least. The scab.
Don't let her answer it herself.
If the workers were organized by Wild Pines, then it would be a company secret. The scab.
Don't let her answer it herself.
If they were organized by Wild Pines. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Have you seen him? Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say? Why do you think so? Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. They're an interesting composition, albeit vile. But enough about Everard. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared. Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen. I'm glad you asked. Yes.
This forewoman, her name?
Indeed. The company says the point of the presentation is, these... I'm glad... Yeah.
This forewoman.
Does it? The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things... Of course. How else can I help? You have.
Finally. Time to choose sides.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or with corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption. Reaching into the bowels of course. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Verm. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be... gossiping.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Oh. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun? Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. And did you now? What sort of borscht is he making? The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it? Why, if I may ask? Why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already? Very curious. A very curious thing to do. What else? Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to... Until then, is there anything I can help you with? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your name and badge number. What happened to it, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. However, this isn't about my feelings. There's also protocol to consider. I'm afraid I can't say any more until I've seen that badge. Of course. But before we do, officer, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us. That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with. This reality. Ah, yes, the episode. But then I'm no doctor. Ask away, officer.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin...
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin... Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
She nods. What this boils down to is... Wait. This reality thing is the only game in town. It's probably in your interest not to blow it. She stares at you, head tilted to the side, with a slightly concerned look on her face.
What I am not is a basic term of reality. A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar region? Ah! This or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. This one used to be 8 to 10. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate.
Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a...
Wonderful. We're in Martinez, baby. Martinez is a district of Revish. You would be excused for not knowing about it. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here. This place used to be a province. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. Yes, we're...
Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable.
Caillou, as you already know.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
I would be happy to. We're in Martinez. Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing. Revachol? Revachol is what you... the great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond...
History, Detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed. In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is. I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
A sparkle of lights on a nighttime horizon, reflected in the dark sea.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence. This is one thought you need.
Was there something else you wanted to know? These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled for the big time.
The smile of a predator.
The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the... Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, Oh, and the anarchists. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves. Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call... Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head. Or thrown beneath a horse. Or drowned. Accounts differ. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was the liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the... They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took... The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head...
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
That's the way of history. The turn of the century revolution? The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole... It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The act from Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the... Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have...
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on a city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, 43 years. Hard to fathom, I know. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. Welcome to reality, baby. Good question. What would you...
No, her first.
And I asked you.
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing. A cold creeps up your spine.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago?
The wind stops, and for a dog barks.
Pokemon by cannons.
Liquidate? That's what King Philip kept screaming from the soul. In the end, they liquidated the Sol Aurum, melted the palace cube down to gold and platinum. Good question.
No, her first. The cold runs down your spine.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock.
The wind stops. A dog barks.
Capital.
Past. That's what Debriva, capital, is finished. Good question.
No, her first.
You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with... Good question.
No, her first.
And you would have died, most likely.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters. The wind, a dog...
Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before... Good question.
No, her first.
Then you would have died.
The cold runs down. The wind, a dog...
Good. Not that it would have mattered. They are... Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? Glad to have been of assistance.
凍結心をあ
Little
げれ
that
る
I know. Any more lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead. The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right. What next?
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants.
1 hour's passed.
I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking. It's sharp.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not... Yes. I am the nether creature of the forbidden... I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile...
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite... Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
while a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt East.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachhead.
She realizes her small...
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes.
Perhaps. Yes, I suppose I am. But yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Of course, Detective.
Hey. Psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start build. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 20... Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any question? Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now.
ドンキと黒 SWITCH プリウス知性配置団結適正じゃない団結アイテム思考ないないや、いけないか。
Good. Matter of fact, I don't. I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. Thank you. I do what I can to remain presentable. Now, ask me some questions. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of...
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Glad to have been of assistance. You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day?
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
ダメじゃん。
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
ダメじゃねえかよ。
Yeah, you bet.
話せるじゃん。
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time. And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred? The woman on the boat.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. It's where they grow whores like that one over there. And their whoremen. Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write on a map. We rarely see pigs round. This place is severe. I thought I'd mix it. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me. I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of... Watch your back, ungulate.
音は何もないか。袋がないと瓶を回収できない。わかるぞ。金庫。NIGIU もたまんなくね、これ。団子が散らばってんだけど。やばいだろ。消し。言っちゃいけないのか。横に出られない。ここが車のところ。ここは質屋でしょう。白猫。 特に何もない。ここまでか、これ。
A rusting control panel with this panel usually nothing happened. But wasn't there a sign over there?
ちゃんと見てなかったから。
What a shirt. All other shirts pale in comparison to the muscular man with antlers and immense Zweihanders.
I mean, even if the man from... It's not that beside.
Very, very unique energies indeed. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted fruit. The light pole has been
Yes, of it.
His manner is casual.
It was brought to...
The lights buzzing resemble
700 real.
a bargain. No, it's not. He's trying.
The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transform... Well, there are... The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted...
Suzu
何だろ。
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox.
If police work means playing tapes, sure, absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recording.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest.
公園での歌か。校内か。
The boomboxes wait on the shelves.
コロナ、無修正動画。
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure thing. Sure, man. Sure. Let me have a look.
Yes, internal medicine.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. A photic
ダ
part,
メだった。
counter radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something. Light. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
物質に入れたら戻って。
Another
ちょっとま
time,
だわかんねえかな。
perhaps.
袋どこに。不利点しかないのか。来い、眠ってみるか。バッジを手に入れないとダメだってことか。コンコン。どうしたものかな。夜中だけど、あっちに行ってみるか。それ確認して終わるか。どうやって行くんだったっけ。
No.
こうか。これでどうだったっけ。これか。 懐中
Very
電灯。
good.
あれ？あれ、こんな。近くの。めんどくせえな。
What is this game all about, Suzuzu?
殺人事件の調査。あれこれどうやって、これ、いけない、
OK
もしかして。あっちからしか行けないのか。外、向こうに戻んないといけないのか。おい。違います。どこから行くんだ？あっちに戻って。ここから。2時になったらもうダメなのかな。あ、これか。
Suzuzu Suzuki is bad to say dope to someone.
わからん。
Dooku.
わからんって。わからねえ。
イズイットバット2制度権。
文脈がわからんのだけど。ここか。ありえじゃないですか。いなくない。おらねえじゃん。2時になる。じゃあ寝ないといけないのか。いいじゃん、寝て終わるか。
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old... Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing to help.
どけというのは悪いことですが。
多い。統計ってなんだよ。ゲッタウェイ。MOV、AWAY ってこと。
OK。
状況によるだろう。 戻れねえな。
Do you say it's Suzuki?
どいてほしいときは言うよ。
Okay.
無理でない。よし、オッケー。寝ないといけないのか。
No. Don't sleep, please.
Can I help you?
こいつは起きてん
Another
な。
thing. Great. I love
Just kidding,
those.
LOL.
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan fine. Okay, the kitchen is... Yes?
お酒。お金があるから金。最近の見るじ
Can
ゃん。
I help you? Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is that... Am I wearing... Am I smiling? That's right.
What you want is a goddamn drink.
Even more reason for me not to... Do I have a shaker in my... Am I wearing... Am I smiling? Because I'm...
What you want is a god...
売ってくれね。なんで売ってくれねえんだこいつ。寝るぜ。寝ればいいんだよね、多分。
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it,
いえ、
your
全然
face
ダメだ。
adorned
Yes, sleep on the floor.
expression.
うん。全然ダメだな。
The fan
これ
stands
は
still.
これか。
The bed is cold and not particularly
よ
inviting,
し。
but
It's
it's
good.
yours.
Trust me, Suzuki.
The sheets feel at once coarse and
これ
clammy
でいけるは
against
ず。
your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight, and
どうな
then
るんやろ。
sleep. And then sleep doesn't come.
はい。
Maybe it's the bed's
なぜだ。
fault.
ベッドが
Its
汚くて
synthetic
眠れない。
filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Smells of alcohol and sweat and grease. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm. Breathe, a bit tense in the muscles.
午後、
Relax.
食べちゃった。
Under your thrumming eyelids, you
What's
see
the
a
breed of
dizzying
your
array
pet?
of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
ベッドで。ノット、ゲット。
Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone
Okay.
again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves. Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? Union? Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you
これで眠り。
until your eyelids twitch in your sleep, and images start forming.
おい、眠るのに一苦労だよ。あれ、朝になった。え、何これ。 どういうこと？霧の世界に来たんだけどどういうこと？眠ったんじゃないの？朝起きて終わりじゃないんかい。大野が死んだら
Do you remember the scent of your
釣られ
childhood?
とるやないかい。
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question. Do you remember your wife's
Yes.
hand on your face? Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? Oh no, funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there, with one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick, watching it go. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. When they were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me.
Balls.
You failed Elysium.
エリジウム。
Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious
Suzuki
truth.
is made out of balls.
8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up. No, Harry. You were just talking to
わからん
yourself.
な。
That's all you ever do.
どういうこと？
Even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots of the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time.
爬虫類来たじゃん。
Sweating up the bed.
久しぶりだな。
Stinky boy.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
鈴木はボールでできています。
突然。そんなこと言われ。何回文書が来た。どうコメントすんなよそれ。
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you
典型も
saw.
久しぶりだな。
Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on.
Disco Man.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
あら、終わった。終わった。 朝。OK。操作できない。あったちゃんと。
Good going, buddy. Oh, just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
Awesome.
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is
でも体
worrying,
力は回
isn't
復
it?
している。
You can't be a detective like
記
this.
憶も回復している。
Detectives need to be able to think. It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor?
ハーブのこと。
You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago.
お薬のことなんでしょうか。
To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die. Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple. Of course, Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around, follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
ちょっと待って。マップってどこにあんだよ。マップ、出てこなきゃ。まだ冷蔵をやるだろう。テールをやって。ビブラート、国に。エアコン。寝られる場所確保しないといけないんだ。少し、ゲート、肉は、これは誰か言ってくるか。いやちょっと待って。でも、やめよう。ここから、イベントを受けるかもしれないしな。アンロックできねえわ。タイマーはもう一回やれば反論できるか。これでセーブして。いやーよく頑張ったわ。ついに2日目に到達し、めでたいことである。というわけで終わりでございます。お疲れ様でした。はい、ありがとうございました。はい、さようならだ。